Hey everybody, this is the professor with Day Trading for Success. Haven't been doing any of the recaps lately. I'm going to show you on the Trader View how we've been doing. And I am trading live most mornings. If you set your alerts on, you should see me come on and you can trade along live with me for free. So as a lot of people say, follow me. But just be careful. Don't do that too. don't. You're responsible for your own trades. I am not a licensed financial advisor. And here's a disclaimer about that. And there's also one on every video. I do try to follow a basic day trading plan. You can see it right here. And I recommend that you make a plan for yourself. Some of the things that I do differently, besides just the basic stuff like have a max loss per trade, a max loss per day, I only enter in 25% to 50% of my position. And then if the price action goes against me, sometimes I will add as it starts going back in the right direction, not just randomly add, or there's real support or resistance levels depending on whether I'm going short or long. So that's the way I trade, and you need to find the way that you trade. You need to log. If you're nervous and your hands are shaking, that means your share size is too high. And what I mean by log, that means write down your trades. Think about why you took them, why you won, why you lost, what were you thinking, what was the strategy. Have a plan for every trade. When you're going to get in, when you're going to get out, and then wait. Trading is very boring. Even when you're scalping on a 1 minute chart, you're waiting a lot of the time. You'll see on my videos that I'm waiting for the setup and then I get in. 80 to 90% of the time it works in my favor. But then if it doesn't, you've got to remember those max losses. You've got to get out and follow your rules. That's the difference between the 5% and the 95% loser. 5% winners, 95% losers. So keep that in mind. So coming up on this video, you can expect to see some live trading this after the stream. If you want to see the stream, go to live on this channel. You see all the streaming videos. So you'll see this morning's stream. And then I traded more after that stream ended, and I got Tesla up to 245, and I ended up making with our staff here a little over 150 for the day. So stick around for that coming up in just a minute, and I'll start with an update of how we're doing this month, because we're doing pretty good this month following the simple scalping style. So stick around, guys. I'll be right back.
Welcome to Day Trading for Success, where the professor, a former math teacher turned full-time trader and coder, guides beginners on how to trade for a living using proven strategies, breakthrough indicators, and lessons from essential trading books. The professor isn't a licensed financial advisor. Always consult a pro before diving into any strategies or demos you see here. Start smart, practice in a simulator, stick to a solid day trading plan, and don't forget to log every trade. Your profits will start with preparation. Thank you for allowing us to share in your journey. Please remember to subscribe, comment, give a thumbs up, and click that notification bell so you can be the first to receive more of our great content.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. So, yeah, like I was saying, the scalping style that we have has done this so far. So that's pretty darn good. So one of the days you didn't see me, some of these days you didn't see me live stream a lot. I jumped on later in the afternoon with this had very risky. I went right in with the max share size of Tesla that you could follow on the PDT rule, which was 250 shares of that stock. And I just did a few trades and did some big money on that day. The rest of these days we struggled along, and we're up to $4,000 for the month. So, most of this you can see on the live stream, some on a recap, some not at all. But most of these you see me trading live. And of course, this is how it gets reported through Charles Schwab on Thinkorswim over to TraderView. So you can see the actual real numbers at the end of the day. And my accuracy is still way up there, well over 80%. I like to trade 90% with this newer strategy with a lower share size. Believe it or not, my accuracy is worse with a lower share size. I think I'm still not trading the way I normally trade. That made me, famous as the quarterback, as calling trades for other traders. I'm still worried about people that are watching me stream, and I'm trading a little different, more conservatively, and I think that makes me become less accurate. But overall, it's been a great month. What's going to come up next that you'll see, I'm going to start the clip right after this that shows how I ended the day trading to get to this amount. So you can see the style of trading. You hear the live talk that I'm talking with other traders. I was trading along with traders that were trading. One was trading as much as 3,000 shares on the same calls that I was making. Sometimes that affects the price action when there's so many traders trading with me, ranging from 500 to 3,000 shares, that you might actually front run what I'm calling. And Zoom has no delay. So I have taken into account over time, if I call a price level, I usually wait a beat to see how the front runners, and they know I do this, how they're going to affect that price. I still think it's the right move, but they may make my entry slightly different. And that's a hard thing to explain or quantify with the viewers, but it is possible, even with a mega cap stock, when the volume is low enough. See, now we're down to 95,000. When you suddenly have 50,000 shares drop in at a certain price, it can manipulate the price action. So trading with people that are registered as large share size traders, and they have alternative routing for the way that their orders are filled. There's Charles Schwab's own dark pools with their own market maker. It's definitely different than how I stream. So just if you're confused by that, that's why. People that trade on Zoom with me are all registered large share size traders. And you can do that too if you prove that you can trade that large a share size. So it's a different tax status you have. It's all kinds of different things. And it does affect the way I trade. So, but overall, green is green. The style of scalping works. And that's basically what I teach. And let me just show you basically what that is before I go into the clip. So this is the typical layout that I have, and I'll show you how I set it up. Every morning I have custom scanners that are available for you guys, and I show how I scan for the stocks. And we're in the middle of changing stuff because of the new rule that's changed. It's about to change because FINRA went ahead and passed that they're going to lower the PDT down from 25K down to 2K. So sometime in the next 30, 60, 90 days, probably before the end of the year, that'll come into effect and it's going to change everything. But with that in mind, we are looking for sort of different stocks that can be more accessible for people, which is kind of weird because we were trading large cap. But if you had made the 25,000 PDT, that means you could margin up to 100K and you could afford 100, 200, even 500 shares of some of the biggest stocks out there. And that's what we were trading based on Day Trading Volume 1, which I have a link to, which is the one that changed lives back in 2022. And it's still one of the most widely traded strategies to this day. Everybody has their own strategy, obviously, guys. But let's go into what just before we play the clip of the live trading before the end of the day, before the end of the trading session, let me just show you how every morning, besides finding the stocks, how I would set them up based on this style of scalping. 5-minute, 10-day chart. Auto zoom out. So I have you can see the high there and the low is over here. Okay, so we're going to mark Fibonacci retracements. So I'll click the 60-cent level there. I'm going to drag this up here and just click it because I'm going to get to the high over here. Now, there's all kinds of ways to set up Fibonacci levels where you're trading off the percentages and when they're more likely to turn around. That is not the case with large mega cap trading from Day Trading Volume 1. You're creating channels. So I'm looking for 449.90. I'm going to just change this price right here to 449.90. This will go pretty quick. I'll just show you a quick setup here. All right, now I've created our first channel that we would look at, ceiling, floor. Just that simple. Historical data. Fibs are about as old as historical data as you can get. Ceiling, floor, creating a channel. If it moves down, it's channel hopped. You have a new ceiling and a new floor. Okay, but we want to make it even easier. That's a wide gap. That's almost over $4 right there, right? You want to make sure you can zero in on when to take a trade less than $4 apart. So now let's open a 2-day 5-minute chart, and we're going to do Fibonacci levels again. So there's the high low on a 2-day. So we mark it down here, 421.57. I'm looking off to the right, trying to get the price right. There we go. But it's very sensitive. So now 449.90. And there we go. I'm going to make this a different color so I know it's a 2-day channel, a 2-day ceiling and floors, and mark those right there. Okay. So now we have shortened our channels up a bit. And where you see those is on a 1-minute chart. That's where you're trading, right, is on a 1-minute chart. So these are all whole and half dollar levels. That's a script you can get. I have a link to it. You can mark these yourself. This just does it on every stock instantly, and that is where the crowd trades. So that's part of the strategy because you're trying to trade with the crowd. I also have a lot of custom indicators. I'm not going to go on a big deep thing about the custom indicators, but I will say at the end of this video you should watch one that's all about the difference the way pro traders trade compared to just the average traders. And they use not only strategies and scalping strategies, but they use indicators. So be careful listening to just any old person on the internet said that indicators are useless. They're usually selling a course or something. But yeah, all indicators is it's helping you see historical data, patterns. That's all. They're helping you recognize patterns. That's it. That's the whole entire mystery of an indicator. So which indicator you think gives you the best historical data? I mean, that's completely up to you as you start to trade and backtest and log your trades and all that. But that's it. That's the mystery. So can you see all that data without an indicator? Some traders can. Some traders see the data that they only want to see without any indicator. But prop firms that have me do coding for their new traders, they want all the chance taken out of it. So when you see a white arrow that's telling you the MACD is saying it's going to go down, you just go short. See how accurate it is? You just go long. You don't have to figure anything else out, right? So it's a good training wheels sort of for them. But let's go back to this 5-minute, 10-day chart very briefly. And we'll look to see now, here we have tighter channels. You can see how it was respected here. Boom, 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 boom. Now it's into this channel. A channel hopped down here, and then it came back up. It hit here, boom, boom, boom. Didn't quite make it to the top. How could we make that even easier to decide to help us say, when is that going to turn around? Well, you could mark it right there in the middle of the day. That's intraday levels, and a lot of those are respected. But it's better to go back and see. Now, we don't know this is going to happen yet. So let's just pretend we don't see that, right? Let's just get that off the screen, right? That's all we have, right? So now we're looking at historical data. We know that the price range is about here. So let's look to see where the stock stopped and abruptly turned around in the last previous 10 days. Well, right there, that was a turnaround. It might do that again, right? Look at this, completely turned around right there. It might do that again. Then we look right here, look at that. Before it dropped off, it was like, that's a serious resistance. That's right at the fib level, but let's mark it. This one's also almost made the fib, but didn't. So we would sort of smooth it out near the bodies and mark that, right? Now we're marking more. You might not want this many levels, but look at that. Look how many times that level was respected across that day, right? Now the idea is since it was respecting it right here many times, maybe it's going to do that again. That's a pattern. That's it. It's that simple. I see all these videos that say keep it simple and all that, but it's like there's cherry picking a price level and saying when it gets here, go here. This lets you set it up every day with patterns on any stock. It's not cherry picked. You set it up, you look at it, and it might be respected. They're guidelines. That's it. They're guidelines. Again, some people will say, you don't need to do that. I'm going to know how to do it. Well, maybe they do know. I always say the best trader still hasn't been found. He's still out there somewhere. This is another level, but it's already been picked up right there. See how it came back and respected, so we're consolidated. So let's get a look at the 1 minute and see what did that do for us? Well, look at that channel we made. We didn't know it was going to be there, right? Look at how that tweezer move was made, and it so respected that level right there. So there you go, guys. I mean, that alone, that one level alone was the reason to mark it out, just for that one level. So now we marked, I think, a bunch up here, right? Because we didn't know the price was going to drop down there. But as the day opens, then you can go back and check for more historical data to see like, hey, it's trading down here. Is there maybe some levels now that I know it's down here that I might want to mark that I didn't mark? And there sure as heck are. Look at this one here. Okay, so actually that's already picked up. We did that. But here's one where it stopped dead and turned around. Look at it, if you smooth across all that. Well, let's go further back and see if it's picked up at all. Again, it got smoothed here and there. So that's a real serious level right there, right? And you might want to go there to that one. And then I usually don't do post and pre-market. They're not as strong. If I'm desperate, I might do that. But as you can see, you gave us more levels to look at. This gave us more levels to look at as the price gets nearer. Here's another one. Now, you just might respect these. I can see right now that came into serious play where it dipped, stopped, and turned and went right back up. What made it do that? There's liquidity pools there. There's all kinds of things going on. You don't need to know. You don't need to figure it out, right? Because they're there for you. So, you see them now and you go like, hey, that might be respected. These levels might be a place, you might be a winner. Nothing's definite ever. And anybody who says it's definite is selling you something, most likely. But now let's look to see how it tightened it up for us. And how those levels might have been respected. We still didn't get any good levels. There's some down here as we go on through the day here, but they're up here. So you've got a channel right here. This Fibonacci here, and then this historical data, which really you might as well call at the even dollar, 430. This gave you your ceiling and your floor. And then in between, the indicators help you with the whole and half dollars. They help you. So it tightened up that. Not much. Tesla's a tough one. But the next thing you would do if you're really getting down and dirty into marking the levels and you're trying to do what I trade is like a recoil strategy where you're waiting to get in and you're waiting for the recoil. Like just look at one of these, either the bid or the ask. You look at a price here, like it was 20 cents, right? So if you got in long at 20 cents and it already went up to 19 cents, I call that like it went down, it recoiled up, get out. You don't wait. This actually gives you a target. This is another like a training wheels for prop firm traders if you don't understand level 2 on larger mega cap, which is different than looking at the share size, looking for it to bind up like in momentum. This is a completely different way to read that you should watch the videos because it works. It works. I mean, I have like 400 videos, and a lot of them are the RV strategy, which is kind of what this scalping is taken after. But my point is you're in and out in 10 to 20 cents. First, you figure out how far is it really moving, and then you look for the dip based on down and dirty up close data. So I might just call that 50-cent line a line. I might say, well, look, it could dip down that far, the $0.25. So if I go in long down here as it hits here to ride it back up, I know that if it breaks that level, we're hitting new territory. I might want to get out. I set my max loss down here, right? I might actually let it go past it and wait for it to break back up through and then add to my share size knowing it's going the right way and I can make more money or get out faster because my price points become better. Different ways to trade, different level and patience and risk. You have to see what's good for you. You might want to get out at 4 cents and 5 cents with 100 shares or 50 shares and just slowly build your $50 for the day or $100 for the day or $500 for the day. I try to get 5,000 a day. So, I started off with much less than that though, like $100, which seemed impossible when I first started to scalp and got away from swing trading. So again, that's the basic strategy though, but again, the risk level's up to you is what I mean to say. But you can tighten up this level. You can see how it's swaling in here. So you have a $0.50 here, right, roughly, and you have a $0.50 here, roughly, and then you've got your other major channels based on better historical data to back up your move. If it breaks through that, you're hitting new ground. And I'm not going to break into every single indicator here and how they can really help you, but like I said, look at the video after this. But guys, that's the basic strategy. You can see me streaming for right now, although I'll be changing around different strategies. So don't forget to tune in and watch it and get ready to watch this next clip. You'll see it in action. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in. All right, so I'm back on. Just had to do something. I made a quick trade there and got up to 182 here.
Reports that he is not rushing decision due to U.S. trade tensions and criticism.
That was a short I took off of this area right here, which is not, that's a intraday level, so it's not really, I mean, it seems to be respecting it, but I wouldn't trust it for very long here, so. But the 428 I will. I'll go short off the 428 to try to catch a recoil on 100 shares and be prepared to add to my share size up to 200 if there's an opportunity to do so. Tried to get in, got in. It hurt me right away. To add to my share size here, I'm going to have to do market. Oops. So, holding that even dollar, which is not great news for me because I'm right below it. I thought I got it at the even dollar. I see now that I didn't. So it gave me a really bad fill on the, when I hit the ask, unfortunately. So that's going to hurt my position here. So sometimes when you get a bad position, it's better just to take the loss right away. I'm not doing that. I'm actually going to add to it up here. So it's 57, 60. I'm going to do it off that 70 level. So now I'm up to 24 now, 24 cents, and I'm looking to buy out. Oh, it's hurting me. It's hurting me. Really hoping it rejects off that fib, or it's going to be a bad trade. My max share size, I believe I can go ahead and get 50 shares more in. Yep, I did. So I'm up to 250 now, and I'm at 37 cents and really risking it by adding to the share size, waiting for the dip off the VWAP. I want to see a big dip off the VWAP. I'm at 37 cents here, but it's getting closer to my position. But that's 250 shares, so it's a bigger risk with Tesla. You can move $1 in a split second. So I'm looking for this to go down right now and not keep going up. I mean, I can hold it a little longer off this level, but it starts to get really painful if it doesn't go down. So yeah, it's not going down. So it's going to get, this could put me in the red. I'm okay. I'll hold it into the red. This is a different kind of trading where I'm not streaming with you guys. But I am staying within the rules of the PDT, but I'm not trading quite as conservative. So you can judge whether it's something you want to try to do or not. If I go really red, you're probably going to pick not. But if it works out really well, you go like, damn, I should just trade. Why doesn't he show that all the time? Because you just don't know, guys. That's the thing. You just don't know. So now when I do get out, you know, I want to see this strong to hit the bid. You know, I can't see this nonsense because I want the bid to fill. And if it's doing really up and down right at my position, it could be. So there was a profit for a brief second. But, you know, I'm looking for something a little bigger now that I have this many shares like that. Let's see if it gets it. Right there. It's right there. It almost picked me up, but it didn't. Swailing down. Here it goes. That should get me. I'm right at the level, but it didn't pick me. Well, you wonder sometimes, right? The games they play, you just wonder. But that broke 200 on this, so nice and green. Let's get back down to 100 shares here. So going long off that same level again is tempting. It did break it though, right? So if I go long and I add, which is far more risky, you haven't been seeing me do that, I have a chance for it to recover. So we're way, this is where it was hitting 26. This is a little over $1 down where it reversed before. If I get in now at this level, which is tempting, but I'm waiting to see if it's going to break it. I want to see it break it, really, is what I want to see it do. And I'd love to go long from down here, but I don't want to go long right on this level right now. So there's a break at the 50 cents. I already could have done a little trade there. I say I want to see it break it, but I'm not confident enough to go short. So there's always a mixed feeling here. There's people trading alongside me right now with 1,000 to 2,000 shares, so I have to take that into consideration, as it might slightly front run my position if 20 people are trading 2,000 shares all in a split second when you only have that kind of volume. So I have to think about that as I'm trading, and I take that into account, that it may actually influence. So it's really hard with a stock like this, but it's possible. So there's our ATR, low, the whole ATR, not the RV ATR. So we're really near a support level here. And a couple of times it didn't quite make it. And then this, it did finally make it and break it. So we'll go, there it goes. So now it's down to the fib at 27 even for a second there. And I'm getting more interested in testing it long here. Already could have gone 50 cents on there, huh? Or 40 cents anyway. Yep. We just didn't grab it quick enough. The way it moved down, it looked like it might do a second pound. Yep, there it goes. Well, that's too bad. I missed that move, and I'm kind of afraid to chase it up. So I would tend to go for a short up here again. I have to wait this out, guys. Every time it does this, then I have to, recalibrate, like, where are we moving in here? Is it about to do two more of those? So I have to just take a breath and see, is it going to start giving us some consolidation, and then you try to catch that move the right way, or just trade the consolidation on the recoils. The way I move this chart around, it reminds me I was very young and driving stick shifts for the first time. And I just was at the, whenever it came to a stoplight or something, I constantly worked the gear level to make sure it was in neutral and then first, so I'm ready to go on first, just constantly. And I was selling, I already had businesses then, and I was selling a boat to a guy from Swedish guy, if he happens to be listening. And he finally reached over and he put his hand on top of my hand on the gear shift and just said, like, "What are you doing? Stop it," in his Swedish accent. "You're in first gear." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, all right, man." It's like, "You're wearing out your gearbox, just moving it around." Okay. Calm down. It's my friggin' car. But I move the chart constantly, like up and down, and it kind of reminds, like, you're just fidgeting. What are you doing? It's not giving me more data, right? It's just, you get bored. That's the way I don't take a trade so much. I look, think about it. Look at level 2. Think about it. What are the indicators saying? Think about it. Move it. It slows me down to move this around, I guess. So it's really respecting that fib. Huh? This is the fourth time that it's hit it. Hit it here too and turned around. Hit it so 4, 5, 6 times. It broke it a long time ago. Making it more likely to go in here, huh? At least you'd get some recoil, right? There's 30 cents. Can't short here, though. Don't want to short there. The crowd has spoken. This is the level they want it to consolidate in right now, right here. So we'll short way the heck up there. 27.70. Yeah, that's way down here, actually. That's way below these. 430 is really the area to be a safer short, right? Well, no, this is, 431 right there. This is the 430. So this is stair-stepping down. Hey, we broke it. And we break it lower than that. Tempting. Give me a big flush there. Then I can get you on the recoil. Big flush. Get all the way down to 26.50 all in a split second. 94, 93. Nope. Nope. It's still respecting that $427 amount there. It's not going up enough to get in there. It's only going up like 8 to 10 cents. It's hard to catch that on a recoil. Need a bigger dip. It's 85 cents now, finally. 82. You can see risk oscillator said it's going to turn around, so 68. That could have been it there at the 68. Let me see if there's 68 again. I'm looking at the bid, guys, down there. Could have got a 20-cent trade there. $57. There we go. I'll try that. And I get it at 55. It's got to pick me up soon, or I'm out. No, it picked me up. Damn. Maybe it's not a damn. I didn't like the way it was continuing to go down. There we go. So I got some money there. Yeah, I picked it up there, got it on the recoil. I don't know what my exact price was, but I got some money there. But it's only 100 shares now, so. You guys are trading 1,000 shares. I can't trade it in this account. I can't. Without switching accounts, I can't go up with you. What's our high? So one of you has 3,000 shares. See? So you're making way bigger money, obviously. So a couple of you are at 500 shares. Wow. She already made over 15K, 12K, 8K, 6K. Yeah, Tesla's doing good for everybody. Charlie's right there. Yeah, right there, $175 green. Looking good. You can do it, Charlie. You got it. We're going to make big money today. Let's get a dip down here. See if we can break the 50 cent. Gave us a 26 cent recoil already off that level I did not capture. Think of it like a snake striking. Strike. Whoa. I'll take that. What did I get that at? 27. I think that's really good, but God knows if it keeps flushing. Let's see if we can get a bigger pullback there. I got it at 27. Recoil a little higher than that. Let's get back up to where those levels we were a second ago. 27. That's 34 on the ask. Nope, it's dipping down. Not good. I will definitely add to this if it keeps dipping. So I'll ask. So 26 even would be a spot, you would think. 426. Yep, I could have got it there for a second. No, I want to go long. Oh my God, what am I doing? I was about to thinking I was doubling down, and there we go. We got a good trade. I sold. Well, you saw me see. Okay. Oh, well, we could have made more. I was a little worried about it continuing to dip there, so I got ahead and got out on that. Yeah, as you see, it's going back down. But I do think 26 is a level to, 426 would be a level to try again, the way it's kind of stalled there, to try to go long off that 26. Let's see if we can grab it down there. I'm doing the bid to make sure I really get it near it. No, it's already gone up 50 cents from that level, which is $50 with this share size. That's how fast that can happen. Where do we go? Short now. Not doing the reverse on this one. You guys have reverse up, most of you, right? Yep. They're all using reverse. Okay. You can activate that on your, if you're watching this, you can activate the reverse button. It's just a little, which just takes the same share size and goes the opposite direction when you get out. It gets you out and then moves you the opposite direction all at the same time. Reverse. But you do get slippage on both sides. It's definitely an advanced way to trade. The logic where I started a movement about the reverse on a 1 minute where people were like, he's crazy. The thing is, if you think the price is going to stop going your way, then why aren't you, that means it's going the other way, right? So why aren't you believing in yourself? That's why I do reverse. It does not work all the time. And then you do what you call manage a bad position. So these are just different ways to trade. Now, if this is just a recap video and you didn't see the whole stream, I talked early this morning that FINRA, they voted in that the new PDT is down to 2,000. So now the SEC, they need all the paperwork and everything, and that's going to change the game, guys. That's why I was trading a lower share size, a lower price stock today. I didn't do very well with it early on, but we made our money back. But everything's going to change. So I've talked to the $1 Million Margin Club who writes strategy books. Like, please make a strategy book that's going to encompass the new lower PDT for people that can really grow their account with much smaller amounts of money. I think that the RV strategy from Day Trading Volume 1 can be used for the most part, but I'm going to be back testing to see if the same fib levels, same support and resistance levels based on historical data, if they actually work on stocks that are ranging from like $10 to $50 or $10 to $75, where you can, if you only have $2,000 in your account, you can margin up to $8,000, or if you have $5,000, you can margin up to $20,000. $5,000 would be enough to make you a living with the right strategy. That's all you need. Then you just add money to your account and you can go higher and higher in share size. Obviously, you want to trade in a simulator. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. Remember that. Seek the advice of someone licensed. Let me get this message down here before you follow anything I say here, okay? So remember that, guys. All right, so we're good for the day with Charlie. She's made her 150. I was just looking to see if there was anything else I could do before I jump to the higher share size, but all right, she's good to go. She wants to stop now. All right, so guys, thanks for watching. This will be the recap of the stream. I'll give you an update about how we're doing on the account. If you didn't catch my stream earlier, I haven't been on live streaming. I've still been kind of trading due to some, bad news and stuff that's been going on here and regarding my personal life is kind of snafu'd in my schedule and changed when I might trade and not being very verbal about my trades, not calling them, just going in and trading. When you're not in a good mood, it's hard to be exuberant about calling trades for everybody. So that's pretty much the gist of it. But I will go into more detail as time goes on about what actually happened. But it's not really about my trading, but it does involve it in a way. And anyway, and then we have all these plans for next year that we're going to be gearing up to doing things a bit differently to expose people to better ways to make a living, that they can make a living easier. The PDT being changed, hopefully it'll be completely figured out by the first of the year, is going to change. It's a whole new world. That's why I was saying the $1 Million Margin Club needs to do a new strategy book based on that. Stocks that are cheaper, not large caps. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Be careful out there and go green, and I'll see you soon. Don't forget, check for me live every morning. I might not be as consistent, but just put your alerts on, and you can see if you want to trade along live with me.